Let me show you how the boss does it.
Enemy spotted. B.
Eliminated.
Reloading. Shadows traveling.
One enemy remaining.
It is ready. It is finished.
If any of you die, I lose a bet with Brimstone, so don't embarrass me like that, please.
Out of my way!
Going up.
My ultimate is ready. Enemy attack spawn.
Careful now. Watch your eyes. Watch your eyes.
Last player standing. Spike down. C.
Poison's off.
30 seconds left.
You want me serious? You got it.
Fight! My ultimate is ready.
Enemy spotted.
Careful now.
Launching missile.
Silver removed. Reloading.
This is how we end.
Your duty is not over.
Fascinating. I must record this feeling. My ultimate is ready.
Come on, let's go. Flash.
Last player standing. Spike down. C.
I survived obliteration. I will survive them.
I got you, bruv.
down, C.
No charges left. Got Spike.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Enemy spotted C.
Last player standing.
Y'all better keep up.
Can someone get this?
I'll take everything from them.
Thank you.
Enemy spotted A. Spike carrier killed.
I have the spike.
Spike down, A.
Healing you.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
Got 30 seconds left.
Wall raised.
Listen to this!
Spike planted.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
You forget
You've
your
probably
place.
seen these noodles before. You can basically find them in any shop that sells instant ramen anywhere in the world. This symbol is pretty recognizable. They're called Shinramyeon noodles, but they're actually made by a Korean company called Nongshim. Nongshim began noodle operations all the way back in 1965, but they've since expanded to become a multifaceted conglomerate, building their profiles in multiple industries, mostly just to sell more noodles. Weirdly enough, one of those industries, and the one I'm most familiar with, is esports. Esports is a huge market in South Korea, particularly with Riot's major title League of Legends.
Enemy spotted A.
Reloading.
Watch your eyes! Going up!
Enemy spotted A.
Watch your eyes!
My way.
Spike planted.
Barrier created. Enemy spotted A.
Reloading. Reloading.
Careful now.
Reloading.
You man ready for a light show? Don't hold back.
Enemy spotted A.
Here. Give in. Cover going out.
My ultimate is ready.
Cover going out. Enemy spotted A. Stealing sight.
Enemy spotted A.
Reloading.
One enemy remaining. Thirty seconds left.
Going up.
Spike planted. Reloading.
Enemy spotted.
Flash.
Last round before the switch.
Either spend all your money or give it to me. Good cause either way.
Can someone get this? Can
Anyone
someone
have
get
funds to
this?
spare?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Locating target. One suppressed.
Enemy spotted A.
Nowhere to run! Sorry, bro. My ultimate's ready.
Last player standing.
Shadows traveling. Shadows traveling.
One enemy remaining.
Moved. Blinding. Not ready yet.
30 seconds left.
Watch them run.
I mean, Faker is one of the most famous people in
Planted.
Korean society, like, ever. Nongshim wanted to use League of Legends to, guess what, sell more noodles. So they picked up a team and eventually they qualified to the top Korean league, the LCK. They've never been amazing, but most Korean League of Legends fans would probably recognize the logo of Nongshim.
We're going out.
But in 2020, Riot released another game, and its esport is becoming one of the biggest in the world. Valorant's esport scene, the VCT, has been thriving since it began over 5 years ago, and just like with League, Nongshim saw an opportunity to break into the Korean Valorant scene. But when they entered Valorant esports, I don't think even Nongshim could have predicted just how special their team was going to become. The story of Nongshim in Valorant starts in 2020, where they picked up a Valorant team to compete in the Tier 2 league, with the aim of eventually winning it and getting promoted to VCT Pacific.
Switching sides.
If they think it is more honorable to resist death, they're welcome to try.
Reloading.
Barrier created.
Spike planted.
Careful now. Flash. Watch your eyes. Going up.
Last player standing.
Their backs will be towards at least one of us.
They were kind of mid for pretty much their entire stint in the league. Well, aside from the end of 2024, Nongshim was starting to establish themselves as maybe the best team in the...
This one's for the fam back home.
Enemy spotted.
Dead.
Reloading.
Flash. Flash. Going up.
30 seconds left.
Stealing sight.
Last player standing.
Toxins going up.
10 seconds left.
Toxin screen down.
Spike planted.
They're nothing but flies. Anyone have funds to spare?
Forward! Wall raised.
Enemy down.
Target down.
One enemy remaining. Spike down, C.
It was their life, or mine. Spikes.
My burden never ends.
My ultimate's ready.
Enemy spotted. A.
Enemy spotted mid.
Come on, let's go. Watch your eyes.
Spike down, mid. One enemy remaining.
You are in our way.
Remember, stay out of the fire. Super high level tactic. Remember that, yeah?
It begins.
Wall raised.
Multiple enemies mid. One down.
Watch your eyes.
Soba removed. Stand down.
Enemy spotted mid.
Flash.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining. Spike down, mid. Thirty seconds left. Spike planted.
New fight, new tactics. Keep it fresh, yeah? Let me show you how the boss does it.
Get out of my way!
Enemy spotted mid.
Enemy spotted.
Spike planted.
Kenya is not known to be a power in the world of sports. They rank 29th globally in the all-time Olympic medal table. And in the top 5 most popular sports in the world, they are pretty much a non-factor. But there is one sport that Kenya utterly dominates in, which is responsible for over 90% of their medal tally. Distance running.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
The country has long been a mainstay in finals, from the 800 meter all the way up to the marathon. They have won the second highest number of gold medals at the World Athletics Championships, only behind the USA.
I need this.
But despite their success in athletics, their reputation is being overshadowed by a growing problem. The Kenyan doping scandal is getting
Many enemies mid.
My ultimate's ready.
Spike down mid.
Embarrassing.
Spike planted.
Enemy spotted B.
Come on, let's go! Watch your eyes!
One enemy remaining.
No charges left.
No, then, Papaja. If you compromise your position, you hand them a free kill.
Don't. I need this.
Can someone get this?
I'll clip that jet's wings. Oh, you ain't coming back. Flash! Careful now.
Missile deployed.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
Stealing
30
sight.
seconds left.
No charges. Cover going out.
One enemy remaining. Clutch.
You forget your place.
Watch your step.
Barrier created.
Multiple enemies missed.
Listen to this!
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Careful now.
Reloading.
Reloading.
Thank you.
No charges left.
Reloading.
My
Going up.
ultimate is ready. They had no right to do.
Match point.
One more win. And we're getting out for drinks, lads. They should stop trying. My ultimate's ready.
Confirmed kill.
Multiple enemies C.
Spike planted.
Enemy spotted C.
Careful now.
Your duty is not over.
Come on, let's go.
One enemy remaining.
No charges left. Going up.
Blinding. Shadows traveling.
We cannot let them unweave our
Defenders win.
Hold on to this moment. We can't stop here.
getting out of hand. This is a list by the AIU, Athletics Integrity Unit, which is responsible for the judiciary process of athletes who have tested positive for PEDs. It details all athletes who are currently serving bans for doping, with a list comprising of over 100 Kenyans who are currently barred from athletics competition. And there are many more athletes not on this list currently serving provisional suspensions, such as former Road 10K world record holder Ronex Kipruto and former half marathon record holder Kibo Wakandi. Even whilst I've been editing this video, the women's marathon world record holder and the only woman to run a marathon in under 2 hours and 10 minutes, Ruth Chepnia,
My ultimate's ready. Careful now. Careful now. Careful now. Careful now. Careful now. Careful now. Going up. 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 Come on, let's go! My ultimate's ready. Come on, let's go! My ultimate's ready. Come on, let's go! My ultimate's ready.
has just been suspended after a banned substance was detected in her body. What's more, Kenya has been heavily implicated in age cheating in the last few months, where athletes pretend to be much younger than they actually are to qualify for age-restricted events, such as the World Under-20 Championships. Multiple Kenyans, including former Olympians, are alleged to have submitted fake age documentation to qualify for last year's champs. All this has led to growing calls that Kenya should be banned from international competition, at least until they have made substantial improvements in both drug and age-related cheating. This video will explore the pervasive nature of both issues in the country, explain why it seems especially bad in Kenya, and finally consider whether Kenya should be banned from international competition, because the answer isn't as simple as many people make out. Let's first get into the nature of doping in Kenya. What are athletes taking, and how exactly are they obtaining these PEDs? The World Anti-Doping Agency, or WADA, published a document in 2018 where they collaborated with the AIU and ADAK, Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, to find out exactly these issues. Here are some of the conclusions that they found. Kenyan athletes have had 138 positive tests between 2004 and 2018, of which 95% or 131 were from athletics. This graph breaks down all the drugs Kenyan athletes have been caught with in that time frame, with the three most common by far being EPO, corticosteroids, and at a heavy favourite, nandrolone. EPO and corticosteroids boost red blood cell production, boosting athletes' endurance and training ability. Nandrolone, whilst associated more with powerlifters and other strength athletes, boosts muscle recovery and development, which allows runners to recover more effectively. But how exactly do Kenyans obtain these drugs on such a widespread scale? Unlike countries known for more organized doping regimes, such as the state-sponsored doping in Russia or the systematic use of drugs in certain running teams, like the Alberto Salazar camp in America, doping in Kenya is much more chaotic. Most athletes tend to source their drugs through over-the-counter pharmaceuticals, often going to qualified medical staff such as doctors and chemists for their drugs. The wider document outlines 9 case studies where athletes who tested positive for banned substances were able to get the drugs prescribed to them over the counter through certain doctors. These doctors are reportedly part of a criminal network in Kenya that exploits athletes' ambitions by selling performance-enhancing drugs, promising that they will help them win medals at major competitions. The extent of this criminal network and the minimal scrutiny surrounding these over-the-counter prescriptions makes it far easier for Kenyan athletes to obtain these PEDs compared to countries like the UK and USA. What's worse, many athletes are uninformed on the severity of the side effects that these drugs cause, with EPO for instance being known to cause heart failure and strokes amongst a myriad of other side effects. This is exacerbated by the fact that these over-the-counter drugs are often poor quality or diluted, increasing the risk of side effects to Kenyan runners. Whilst they may be harder to come by, you can bet that on average the drugs that the Western athletes are taking are much higher quality and safer to use. Brett Rodier is the head of the Athletics Integrity Unit, and he visited Kenya for a week in 2023 to discuss greater anti-doping measures in the country. Whilst the 2018 WADA report highlights the spontaneous nature of doping in the country, Rodier says the past 5 years have seen an increase in sophistication of organised activities. Now, whilst this does shed light on the extent of doping in Kenya, it still doesn't give the full picture of why the country is overrepresented in statistics. There are a number of factors that exacerbate doping in the region, identified by major athletics. Starting with the first one. As we have discussed, Kenya is undoubtedly a powerhouse in the athletics world. Since they have one of the world's largest talent pools in the sport, with many athletes capable of medaling, far more women need to be tested compared to men. If the number of athletes that needs to be tested is higher, there is more funding and logistical difficulty in testing everyone effectively, and anti-doping agencies are struggling to keep up. As a result, more people search for the net, and the athletes who are tested are done so less effectively, making the test easier to bypass. This goes without mentioning the pool of sub-elite runners who are right at the heels of the international athletes, national and regional champions who are talented and hungry for success. They just have yet to break out on the world stage. Kenya has a huge pool of these runners, but they often fly under the radar of most anti-doping agencies who need to focus their limited resources on the top athletes. And to make matters worse, these sub-elite runners are constantly threatening to replace the top athletes, increasing the pressure for everyone to dope, lest they be replaced by an up-and-coming newbie. But the issues don't stop there. Corruption is a large problem in Kenya, with the country ranking 126th out of 180 countries in Transparency's Global Corruption Index. Wesley Korir is a 2-time winner of the Boston and LA Marathon, and turned to a politician which he uses to campaign for anti-doping policies. In this documentary by he describes Kenya as being too corrupt to implement anti-doping.
From outside. So just tell you, hire a Kenyan to go do out of testing by himself. I wouldn't that he's bringing if it's.
Athletics Kenya and ADAK being accused or straight away for instance, by World Athletics, diverting funds likely and a potential diversion of anti-doping 2016 received a 10-year ban from coaching after he offered to give prior warning about drugs testing to an undercover journalist in exchange for £10,000. Just a few months ago, the CEO of the ADA was dismissed on corruption charges. So it seems that even if genuine policy change to combat Kenya's doping issues were introduced, then you would struggle to implement it effectively. Some athletes who tested positive the appeal process with forged documents. An infamous example is Rio 2016 strategist Jemima Sambong, who used fake medical documents when she tested positive for EPO. She was initially banned for 4 years in 2017 after her defense that she was admitted to EPO hospital for an ectopic pregnancy was deemed false. Her ban was extended to 8 years after the medical documents she provided to act as evidence for her claim were judged as not authentic and had been provided by an imposter. Although in this example the evidence was recognized as forged, this is one of many cases that shows how developed athletes' cheating networks can be. It takes careful planning, insider knowledge, and co-conspiracy to fake official documents like this, which just shows how deep Kenya's corruption problems lie in the anti-doping. But by far, one of the biggest incentives for Kenyan athletes to dope is money. It's no secret that Kenya is a poor country. According to the World Bank, Kenya had a GDP per capita of only $6,619 in 2024. 1/3 of the population was living in poverty in 2022. This means they have millions of people their life better for themselves and their family. And running is a very attractive way to do this. Elite runners are paid handsomely in sponsorship and terms. Many athletes are primarily with the goal of lifting their family out of poverty. Look at some of the prize pools for the major marathons around the world. Boston Marathon, 150k, 75k. Chicago Marathon, 100k, 75k, 50k. And this goes without mentioning every bonus advanced times, and world record. A podium could set a one race. They don't even need to win the marathons like the 5 marathon, 40k, 20k, or the Seoul Marathon. But when it comes to prize money, even in the national you still win $3,000 competition. In a country where poverty is so widespread, this is life-changing money. And this goes without mentioning the glory you would get from your give yourself, your family, your children, siblings, your entire community even a chance at a better life, then it's small wonder why so many athletes turn to PEDs. Couple that with the ease to avoid detection, white and the and you start to realize why PEDs always get in the news for doping controversy. Unfortunately, the drug testing that we have in elite sports today are ineffective at detecting banned substances in an athlete's body. An anonymous survey of over 2,100 elite athletes prior to the 2011 World Athletics Championships revealed that 30% of the doping, yet only 5% of the doping tests in the competition were positive. The situation was worse in the Pan-Arab Games, when 45% admitted to doping. Detecting substances is difficult when present in such tiny amounts, especially detecting instantly within hours. I could do a whole video on the ineffectiveness of anti-doping infrastructure. Now, whilst it is easier to avoid tests if you know what you're doing, there is still a certain amount of planning and knowledge required to pass these tests, especially if you are taking large quantities of drugs and if you're tested a little more often. I wonder if Kenyan athletes are overrepresented in doping statistics. It's not just because they necessarily dope more, but because of the Kenyan athletes who do decide to dope, and fortunately, and the reason for this is that the Kenyan athletes lack access to advanced doping technologies that the Western athletes can easily use. Things like designer drugs, specific strains of PEDs that do not flag up in testing or are harder to detect. For instance, Sarah is an advanced PED that is not only more effective than the conventional field that most clinics incorporate and stimulating red blood cell production, but it's also much harder to detect. Instead of trying specific dry spell testing, if you have an athlete in rich countries with access to more sophisticated such as they are much less likely to be I mean, athletes known to hire specific experts to help them they also have to break the blood to ensure that certain biological markers do not regularly without pressure. Even traces of specific biological systems, such as elevations and I find it hard to believe that a humble Kenyan runner from a rural village will have the same access to this medical infrastructure than your average Western athlete. And so when we see a boost in testing like we have seen in Kenya, tests that would be much easier to evade for athletes with strong resources become much more effective at catching someone with limited doping technology, and therefore we see more Kenyans popping. The reason it is especially bad in Kenya and not also present in similarly poor countries like another athletics powerhouse, Ethiopia, is because unlike many other nations, Kenya has actually massively boosted their testing due to and whilst these tests are far from foolproof, they will catch athletes who are unprepared. Now we have discussed in detail drug doping in Kenya, but there still remains the issue of age cheating. This recently came to light after the AIU began an investigation of 34 Kenyan athletes, including some Olympians who had allegedly lied about their age to qualify for age-specific events. It is important to note that no Kenyan, or any elite athlete has ever been directly banned for age cheating. But there are some cases that have left fans suspicious. You see a lot of East African prodigies who fail to continue their success in the under-20 category as their career continues. Many people chalk that up to the athletes actually being in their early to mid-20s whilst they're competing in the under-20 category, and thus in the theoretical prime of their fitness. However, once they move up to the senior category, they are actually in their mid to late 20s and thus past the physical prime, which explains the sudden drop-off in times. This is not helped by the aged appearance of many of these Kenyan prodigies. A good example is Edward Zakayo, a Kenyan athlete who was once World Under-20 champion in 2018, running 13 minutes 20 to claim gold. He never hit that same form since, and in the last few years put forward very mediocre times compared to his old fitness, when you would only expect him to improve at his age. Zakayo is 23, but judging by his appearance, he could easily pass off as being 30. He actually posted documentation verifying his age after so many people accused him of age cheating. More modern and high-profile examples are the late men's marathon record holder Kelvin Kiptum, who was also in his early 20s. Another super recent one is 1500-meter prodigy Faniel Kolich, who burst onto the scene with an under-20 world record at age 18. He similarly has garnered scrutiny by athletics fans, including myself, over his aged appearance. This issue is especially bad in Kenya for the economic and social reasons mentioned, and the fact that documentation is much easier to forge there than in Europe and the US. Documents are also just generally less used. Again, a birth in a rural Kenyan village home is much less likely to have an accurate birth certificate than most births in Western countries. So for some people it may not even be intentional. Age documentation is just less used in the country. And again, no one has been officially banned, but it's easy to see why some cases warrant suspicion. So with all this in mind, should Kenya